Alright, ladies and gentlemen, two more things we're going to get done to this car before we stick it on the track. And I know recently I said it is right to go, it's set, but after talking to a few people and getting some advice, two things that I need to get done. One of the wheels when I turn is binding up, and that's because the drive shafts are a little bit long when we put some camber on it. So I'll change one of those. If we need to change the second one, we will. The other one is putting a new rear sway bar in it. Stock, these cars come with a 12mm rear sway bar. We're putting an 18mm sway bar in the back of this to really stiffen it up, because some of the tracks we go to, we turn in quite high speeds into first turns or to some turns, and you really want that side bite and get that rear stability really nice and get it to the ground. Even if this is a front wheel drive car, we want to make sure that our rear is nice and stable going through the turns. So we'll pull this one out, we'll get the new one in, and then we'll work on the new drive shaft at the front. And then if we get time, there's one more project I want to get done. If we get time, it's not critical, it's just something that I'd like to get done for a bit of fun. So we'll get this one out and put the new one in. That thing is thing. Alright, so the old one is now out of the car. It's the crusty, dirty, filthy one. And right behind it is the new, larger, upgraded white line rear sway bar. So pretty much exactly the same design almost. This one is made for, the new one is made for this model of car. But as you can see, it's much beefier and ready to go in. So we'll get that in the car now and see how it all goes. That was literally about a 15-minute job, and so that's in, probably easier to see it on the other side. There it is there, you can see it just tucked up in there, nice and out of the way. Hopefully it works a treat. See it running across there, it should be good. Onto the drive shaft. Alright, front wheel's off now, just to pull a few things apart and then rip the drive shaft out from the transaxle. So you see it runs all the way up into there, focuses. So obviously do the hub nut, take the cotter pin out, do all that, and then pull the drive shaft out and then replace it with a brand new one that is slightly shorter. Alright, that is out. Always remember to drain the fluid out of your transaxle before you rip the drive shaft out. So this is our old drive shaft right here. Now I'll pull the other one out and I'll show you just how long. Look how shagged that is. Flopping around everywhere. Get the new one out and I'll show you what it's like. Alright, so this new drive shaft I ordered from Wayne Milburn at Brakes of Moore down in Melbourne, who deals with a bunch of XL parts. Now, looking at it, it should be fine. It's meant to be about 15mm shorter than the original. It comes off the Honda X2 model, not the X3 that we race with. So we'll take this over. Yeah, there you go. See, it's fractionally shorter. Just fractionally. We'll throw the new one in and get it all put back together. I might even just order another second one for the other side, so you've got no problems there. So just 2 new drive shafts in there, all sealed up. This one, look at this. This one here didn't even have a, wasn't even connected onto the gearbox. It was just flopping around. Anything could get inside there. So brand new unit, all greased up. We'll stick it in the car and get it put back together. After a bit of persuading, she went in. For those that are trying to do this at home and trying to put your drive shaft in, sometimes with the new circlips, they can be a bit fiddly and be a bit tight to put in. You can try taking the old circlip off the old drive shaft and putting it on this one, but obviously they come with new circlips for a reason. What I found is if you just get the circlip with the opening of the circlip facing down and then push in, and you will need to give it a bit of assistance to get it in there, it should go in fine. So hopefully this will solve some troubles with binding up. If not, we'll have to sort something out, but it should be fine. So we'll go from there. So now it's just getting this end into our hubby. Straight in. Look at that. All right. Now we've got to put everything else back together. So that's all back together now. We've got a new hub nut on, got the cotter pin in. It's all sweet and dandy. Now the reason why we run a shorter drive shaft in these cars is when we run a whole bunch of negative camber on the front, it tends to push the drive shaft over fractionally and will bind up as you turn. So when you turn, it'll put extra pressure on the drive shaft. It'll start to grind and make really crazy noises. So the X2 drive shaft is about 5 to 15mm shorter, I believe, and it makes a huge difference in freeing up the drive shaft to do the work we're asking it to do under the pressure that we're asking it to do. So hopefully now that's all good to go. We'll see anyway. So that's it down there. Nice new one all set up in there, and put this on, and now we can once we put this tire back on, we can do a setup on the car and get it ready for the track. And I need to replace the gearbox or the transaxle fluid, because when I opened it up, a whole bunch came out. So that's been sitting there for about 3 years, so it's probably due for a bit of a redo anyway. So we'll change that out and get this thing a setup ready for the track. All right, so new drive axle or new drive shaft, rear sway bar is in, and I think tomorrow I might just make it a separate video. There's one project inside this car. There's many projects inside this car I actually want to get done. Some of which are really easy, and some will take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. So tomorrow I'm going to work on hopefully getting another one of those little projects done. I'm still waiting. It's a project I can do while I wait to get the setup done on the car and get the car on track. Now that we've got this stuff done, we can get the setup done, sway bars in, all that kind of stuff, and one step closer to getting it on track. Now, if you saw my last video, I had a bit of a decision to make whether or not I kept pushing forward with trying to wear a certain certified boot or not. Go back and watch that video if you need to. I'm having trouble finding boots to fit, race boots, and with the series that we run, I need to wear FIA certified race boots. Problem is my foot is so big, they just don't come in my size. what I did do is, thanks to the guys, Belinda and Sean and the guys at Racer Industries, I was able to try on the biggest boot they had, which was a 48. It was pretty snug on my foot. And they're the Australian distributors for Sparco within Australia. So they import all the gear over and get it sent off. What they were able to do is they contacted Sparco, and I've ordered them, I've paid for them. They're in the process of getting made. Hopefully in about a month, about 4 weeks time, they'll be in Australia. A size 49.5 Sparco Formula race boot. I mean, I jokingly said to Ross McLaren the other day, I said, I mean, it's a bit excessive for XLs driving around with a pair of custom handmade Italian calfskin leather boots. But it is what it is. I've got it, they're coming. My race suit should be hopefully not far away. It should be here soon. So like I say every time, we're this much closer. But when I want to go out and get some seat time and doing a sprint, I don't need safety gear, I just need enclosed shoes, long sleeve shirt, long pants, and I'll be out the door and in the car and on the track. So that's where we're at. Another step closer, and we'll get that all taken care of. Next weekend, there is the first round of the QRDC at Queensland Raceways. So I'll probably go take you guys out there and check that out. There'll be a heap of different classes. There will be XLs out there doing a bit of a timed test session with starts and stuff like that, as well as the historic touring cars and things like that. So a range of different categories out there racing, which will be cool to see. And then in March, it's the first round of the Series X3 XL series, which will be out at Warwick, which is about 2 hours away from here. So we'll probably try and get out to that and check that out for one day, if not two. So we'll see how we go. But I'll be sitting down this week figuring out our racing schedule for the upcoming season, and then we're on track and away we go. So beautiful thing is, I will be fully compliant with all my safety gear. It will be all FIA certified. People won't have to worry about that. I had a number of people message me, just said, just wear your other ones, it'll be fine. And that's great, but because I messaged Motorsport Australia, I didn't want to run the risk of them sitting there checking me every 5 minutes to see if I've got my boots on. So I'll just bit the bullet, ordered the boots. They should be here in a month. I'll be good to go. So that's where we're at. Heap of videos coming next weekend. The project inside the car, we'll be doing a setup on the car, getting it on track, and so now the videos hopefully will just start rolling. Now that I've started work, I've settled in, job's going great down here in Brisbane. We'll start rolling out the videos, getting the content out, and more for you guys to enjoy. So until then guys, I will see you later.